George St-Pierre said that Nick Diaz is the most disrespectful human being I've ever met. And I'm going to put the worst beating you've ever seen on him in the UFC.
UFC fans, it's great to be back in Montreal as we welcome you to Bell Center and the official weigh-ins for UFC 158, St-Pierre versus Diaz. Tomorrow night, live, only on pay-per-view, the most dominant welterweight champion of all time, the hometown hero, Montreal's George Rush St-Pierre, finally fights Nick Diaz in a matchup that has been fueled by lots of bad blood. Plus, two of the top contenders in the welterweight division fight when former UFC interim welterweight champion Carlos Condit faces knockout specialist 14-1 Johnny Hendricks. We'd like to send out a special welcome to our UFC Fight Club members and thank our UFC sponsors. Bud Light, here we go. The only motorcycles worthy of being in the octagon, Harley Davidson. The all-new Dodge Dart. Metro PCS, 4G LTE for all. Zenergy, powered by Zions, the great tasting, sugar-free, zero-calorie energy drink, the official energy drink of the UFC. UltimatePoker.com. Visit to win your ultimate UFC experience. And Tap Out, official lifestyle apparel of the UFC, available at tapout.com. And now, to get the official weigh-ins for UFC 158 underway, here is Joe Rogan.
What's happening, Montreal? Ariani and Brittany, ladies and gentlemen. Bruce Buffer, the voice of the Octagon. Canadian officials. Dana White, without him, none of this would be possible. Joe Silva, best matchmaker on the planet. Lorenzo Fertitta, my hero. And Burt Watson, babysitter to the stars. We got a fantastic card for you, ladies and gentlemen, including the welterweight championship of the world. We're starting things off on Facebook in the bantamweight division. George Roop versus Ruben Duran. First up on the scale, Ruben Duran. 135. 135. And his opponent, George Roop. For Mr. Roop. Ruben Duran and George Roop, ladies and gentlemen. The next fight live on Sportsnet and TVA Sports here in Canada in the bantamweight division. TJ Dillashaw and Isai Tamura. 135 for Mr. Tamura. And his opponent, TJ Dillashaw. For TJ. TJ Dillashaw and Isai Tamura, ladies and gentlemen. Next up in the welterweight division, Rick Story versus Quinn Moher. $168 for Mr. Moher. And his opponent, Rick Story. For Rick Story. Quinn Moher and Rick Story, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, live on FX, we kick things off in the lightweight division. John the Bull McDessie versus Darren Cruikshank. $155 for Darren. And his opponent, John McDessie. $155 for Mr. McDessie. Darren Cruikshank and John McDessie, ladies and gentlemen. Next up in the welterweight division, Dan Miller versus Jordan Main. 171. Jordan Meehan and Dan Miller, ladies and gentlemen. Next up in the featherweight division, Antonio Carvalho versus Darren Elkins. $145 for Mr. Elkins. And his opponent, Antonio Carvalho. Darren Elkins and Antonio Carvalho, ladies and gentlemen. Next up in the welterweight division, Patrick the Predator Cote versus Bobby Volker. Ricci versus Colin Fletcher. Ricci. Ricci and Colin Fletcher, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, we move into the middleweight division. Nick, the Promise Ring versus Chris Camozzi. From Mr. Ring. Chris Camozzi and Nick Ring, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, in the welterweight division, we got the 6 best welterweights on the planet Earth here tonight. Jake, the Juggernaut Ellenberger versus Nate Marquardt. Strikeforce welterweight champion, Nate the Great Marquardt. And his opponent, the Juggernaut, Jake Ellenberger.
Right now, my time.
Gentlemen, Nate Marquardt and Jake Ellenberger. Next, we move to the co-main event of the evening in the welterweight division. Carlos, the natural-born killer Condit versus Johnny Big Rig Hendricks. WEC welterweight champion, Carlos, the Natural Born Killer Condit. For the Natural Born Killer. The co-main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Hendricks and Carlos Condit. Now let's take a closer look at the two men involved in the main event of the evening.
George St-Pierre flipped out tonight. He said that Nick is the most disrespectful human being I've ever met, and I'm gonna put the worst beating you've ever seen on him in the UFC.
This is a fight I want for a long time. We were supposed to meet before, and now it's gonna happen. It's a lot of animosity, and I'm the one who got the belt. I'm the one who got the title. That's why they tried to pick a fight with me.
No one has ever talked more about George than Nick Diaz.
What's up? Where you at, George? Where you at, boy?
I was just yelling, dude. I just threw it out there for the people, for the fans, for him. It's like, what are you gonna do now? You know what I mean? I don't have to like him, he don't have to like me.
I don't know him. He's not my friend. I don't want to know him. He's my opponent, and we're gonna fight each other and try to hurt each other.
When that octagon door shuts, all hell's gonna break loose.
I've changed a lot of things in my training, learning new skills to put in my arsenal. Nick Diaz is very good with his hand. He's a great boxer, but I'm training with a better boxer than him.
No, you're not, dude. You're not. You're not training with better boxers, because they'll knock your ass out. Regardless, there's no harder practices than what I'm doing. The only way to stop me is if you run away or you hold on for life.
I'm the one who decides where the fight goes, you know. When I want to put someone down, I put them down.
You're gonna take me down? Okay. Now you have to deal with problems on the ground. I'll do everything that I can in my power to win, and there's nothing that this guy can do to hurt me.
I don't really care what he says. The main thing is to beat him and to hurt him.
Gentlemen, for the UFC Welterweight Championship of the World, introducing the challenger, the former Strikeforce Welterweight Champion, Nick Diaz! been looking for a long time. Tomorrow night it comes. Give us your thoughts on what this fight means to you and what's going to happen tomorrow.
We're going to get out there and fight. We're going to see what's going to happen. I'm happy to represent Stockton, California, Cesar Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, my team, Jake Shields, Gilbert Melendez, Nate Diaz, everybody from the town. Thank you very much.
Nick Diaz, ladies and gentlemen. George, I know this is a very important fight to you, especially here in your hometown of Montreal. Give us your thoughts on Nick Diaz and what's going to go down tomorrow night.
I can talk as much as I want, but tomorrow I'm gonna walk the walk. That's all I can say.
The champion, ladies and gentlemen, Nick Diaz and George St-Pierre tomorrow night live on pay-per-view. And if you're watching this right now on Fuel, don't change the channel. There's plenty more to come with John Anik, Chael Sonnen, Dominic Cruz, and Ariel Helwani. So let's send it back to California.